Welcome to the Mastering Project Schedule Control module, which is designed to be your comprehensive guide to effectively managing project timelines and, most importantly, keeping your projects firmly on track. We'll be diving into the essential techniques and concepts you need to achieve schedule success. In this module, we'll be diving into the basics of the schedule control, essential techniques and processes for ensuring your project stays on track and on time. Effective schedule control is a core competency in project management. It's not just about creating a schedule, it's about actively managing it throughout the project lifecycle. Let's walk through the fundamental concepts we'll be covering. First, organization will start with understanding CPM, which stands for the critical path method. The critical path method is a powerful technique for identifying the specific sequence of tasks that directly determines the project's minimum possible duration. Think of it as the longest chain of dependent tasks in your project. Any delay in a task on this critical path will directly delay the entire project's completion date. Understanding this is crucial for knowing where to focus your attention to prevent delays. Next, milestone planning. Milestones are significant events or achievements in your project, but they are unique because they have zero duration. They are essentially markers in your schedule, like the completion of a major phase, a key deliverable approval, or a final sign-off. Milestones are incredibly useful for tracking progress at a high level and for communicating key achievements to stakeholders without getting lost in the details of day-to-day tasks. A cornerstone of any effective control process is establishing the schedule baseline. The schedule baseline is the approved, official version of your project schedule. Once it's set, it becomes the benchmark against which all future performance is measured. You can't know if you're ahead or behind schedule if you don't have a fixed line in the sand to measure against. This baseline is what gets formally signed off on before execution begins. Once the project is underway, we move into monitoring progress. This is an ongoing activity that involves regularly collecting and analyzing key data points. We'll look at metrics like actual start and actual finish dates for tasks, as well as % complete. The goal here is to continuously track our performance against the schedule baseline we just talked about. This regular monitoring is what allows us to detect problems early. Detecting a problem leads us to our next point, analyzing schedule variance. Once you have your planned data from the baseline and your actual data from monitoring, you can measure the difference between them. This is schedule variance analysis. It's a quantitative way to determine if the project is ahead of schedule, behind schedule, or right on track. This analysis helps us understand the magnitude of any deviations. Finally, knowing you have a variance isn't enough. You have to act. That brings us to responding to deviations. When your analysis shows a significant variance, you need to investigate the root causes. Why are we behind? Is it a resource issue, an unexpected problem, or was the original estimate flawed? Once you understand the why, you can take targeted corrective actions to get the project back on track. This could involve reallocating resources, adjusting the scope, or finding ways to accelerate subsequent tasks. By mastering these 6 areas, you will have a robust framework for controlling your project schedule and significantly increasing your chances of delivering your project on time. Let's dive deeper into our first topic, the critical path method.
So, what exactly is project scheduling? As you can see on the right, project scheduling is the process of defining the timeline for a project. This isn't just about picking a deadline, it involves several key steps, sequencing all the activities that need to happen, estimating how long each activity will take, and allocating the necessary resources to get it all done. Why do we put so much effort into this? Because a well-crafted schedule is the roadmap for your project. It guides everyone from start to finish. It is a vital tool that aids communication among team members and stakeholders, enables control by letting you track progress against a plan, and helps you manage your resources effectively to avoid bottlenecks and burnout. Now, let's look at what project scheduling management specifically involves. We can break it down into 4 key components. First, at number 1, it involves identifying the necessary work to be completed. This is the foundation. Before you can schedule anything, you must have a clear and complete understanding of every task required to achieve the project's objectives. This is all about defining the what of your project. Second, we establish the project timeline and the milestones. Once we know the work, we sequence the tasks and estimate their durations to build a complete timeline. Within this timeline, we identify key milestones, significant checkpoints that help us gauge our progress. Third, scheduling involves assigning tasks to responsible team members. A schedule is not just a list of tasks, it's a commitment. By assigning each task to a specific person or team, you create clarity and accountability. Everyone knows what they are responsible for and when it's due. And finally, at number 4, project scheduling defines the cost and resources required to perform individual tasks. Every task consumes resources, be it people's time, materials, or budget. A comprehensive schedule links these requirements directly to the work, ensuring that you have a realistic plan for your budget and resource allocation. In essence, these 4 elements work together to create a detailed, actionable plan. By managing them carefully, you transform a project goal into a clear path for your team to follow, ensuring a much higher likelihood of success.